Hi everyone, Aldbar here. Just some quick notes before we start. You must change your epic destiny to Exiled Angel. It will give you access to Leap of Faith and Reborn in Light. You also must have access to an Artificer Dog, Druid Wolf, or a Pale Master's Skeleton. Finally, you must be able to pick locks. Knock spell will not work underwater. I am using the Royal Guard mask to teleport to the portable hole. Here I'm picking up some greater teleport scrolls to give me quick access to the Twilight Forge. Greater teleport has an option to be used for an entire party, but only inside of a combat area. For personal use, there's an option to do it from wherever you want. You must acquire both halves of the Dalcor sigil and combine them before you can gain access to the Twilight Forge.
You have breached the defenses of the quarry armory. Alarmed whispers and rapid footfalls echo along the gauntlet.
The entrance area is composed of hallways with parallel passageways alongside them. A switch to open the gate will be found in the nearby passage. The ogres in the passageway stand on platforms who activate the traps in the main hallway. Killing them will disable the traps. Somewhere in each hallway will be access to the passageways. Killing 50 ogres is one of the quest objectives. The switch for the next gate will be found close nearby. It is not necessary to venture to the end of the passage, but if you do, you might find some extra treasure or some collectibles. And also, you can kill all the monsters this way. This is the only shrine until after the high security gates. It is accessible with D door or by running back, and if you plan on using it, it's recommended to kill all the mobs so you don't get hit when you come back. Out of the two chests that are in the passageways, this one requires open lock. This will disable the blade traps in the hallway.
A series of ramps descends further into the armory. You hear the distant sounds of renewed industry below.
You have cleared the entrance and have gained access to the first
crystals
leering
above
sentinel.
this leering sentinel glow.
You will inspect
powerful.
the crystal
To the
and
left,
go
to the right,
green.
You notice tunnels lit, and the green light in this tunnel seems grainy and unnatural. Every nerve in your body is tingling.
Without the correct crystal, the color-coded hallways will cause damage when passed through.
This volcanic blast furnace is hot enough to smelt the rarest of ores. Mechanical bridges promise safe passage, but the controls are nowhere in sight.
This main room is made up of 2 floors, with 3 rooms on each side and 1 at the end on both floors, for a total of 14 rooms, plus the entrance you came in by. The puzzle is actually quite intuitive. All you need to do is follow the light and see which direction it leaves the room. It will connect with the room in that same direction. The objective is running the light through all the rooms, so to gain access to the high security switch and the blue and yellow passageways. If you move a tile and close the doors, it will activate the guards behind the door. The light is needed to open the door and to continue to the next room. This is where having a pet is useful. In a full party, it is possible for players to be locked inside and once the puzzle solved, then be released. It is much easier just to set the puzzle and use a D-door to get out of the room. Ultimately, you can just get your pet to move the tiles for you and summon him out once he's done. The gates on the sides of the doors will allow you to see what's happening inside of the room. If by any chance you misselect your tile, you can use the key to select next to get it back. This is the lever for the first black security gate. Once clearing the area, you head back towards the green and purple sentinel. You cannot have two crystals from the same sentinel, so you'll first have to drop the green one and then take a purple.
The purple light in this tunnel seems grainy and unnatural. Every nerve in your body is tingling. The factory floor ahead is a maze of catwalks, platforms, and blast walls. What strange tasks require such a labyrinthine workshop?
This area contains a barrier that must be swam under or jumped over. Entering this area will alert all the monsters and create a red dungeon alert. It's very important to kill everything.
You notice a raised portcullis above a channel of lava. Except for the lethal heat, you might slip beneath it.
The lava swim requires a very high resistance to fire. Instead of using this ladder, I am going to go back and show how to jump up on the wall. Climbing up this ladder with a whole bunch of monsters surrounded with mind flayers is not optimal. To get up onto the fence, you must have a jump of 40. I recommend standing in a diagonal to avoid overshooting the fence. Face the ledge at a slight distance so you don't hit your head on the ledge. This is a switch for the barrier. This is the switch for the second black high security gate.
Another
Select a
leering
red
sentinel
crystal
stands
and
before
enter
you.
the red
This
hallway.
one adorned with crystals of red and blue. You gaze down another deadly security tunnel. This one suffused with a harsh red glow.
That was the first half of the third black security gate.
A barrier blocks the way to a room with frost written. The hatch grinds open, revealing a reservoir of icy coolant. This would be an easy place to drown.
Here I'm backtracking a little bit to show off the third floor, to clear up a few mobs, and to show the lightning traps, including the entrance into the blue corridor.
You gaze down another deadly security tunnel. This one suffused with a harsh blue glow.
As you can see, standing in a corridor without the appropriate gem will make you take lots of damage. I am doing this on purpose to prep myself for the next area. This is the underwater maze section. You will need a pet to pull the levers for you. The pet will treat the water as if it's a solid mass, meaning that even a slight bit out of range, you will get the error the lever is blocked. Even when in range, the pet may still not use the lever if it is not selected. You can always use the select next key to reselect a lever. The first lever to the right must be pulled by you just once. Get as close as you can to the left side of the gate. I remove my underwater action item and then my HP item to instant kill myself. If at any point you get out of range of your soulstone, you will be teleported back. In this case, this will help you to get past locked gates. Get your pet to activate the gate for you. Time it so you do not get stuck or stopped between the gates. Every second is important. As soon as you reach the switch, summon your pet, make him stay put, and select the lever. You will then be teleported back past the gate. Your pet then pulls once and you will have gained access to the central area. You will repeat this routine for the sequence of the next 3 switches. The first switch is to the far left of your starting point. The second switch is to the far right and up from your starting point. The third switch requires very precise timing. Make sure you slip perfectly between the 2 gates. The third switch is to the far left, and then left and up from your starting point. I first confirm that my pet can activate the gate before I resurrect myself. Seeing that a switch is not selected, I used the Select Next key to reselect it through the wall. After confirming that my pet can activate the switch, I then go and resurrect myself. This is the gate that requires lockpicking. Place your pet at this final lever. After re-equipping my items and selecting the switch, I have my pet open the gates while I swim towards the end. This is the second half of the third
Strong
black
currents
security
roil
gate.
the coolant reservoir
This will
as all
also
this
open the
place
gate
is
above
frigid.
and release
Icy
you from
mists
the
rise
underwater
from the
maze.
coolant below.
There is a secret chest hidden underwater. To remember its direction, just look at the map and go down. This chest has the chance of dropping the Helm of Free Will. Approaching the ladder will start the golem fight. The golems are healed by fire, but I just couldn't be bothered to change out my rune arm. During the fight, A barrier will block access to the blue hallway, preventing players from escaping or entering. Kill the golems to gain access to the ladder.
The tunnel ahead glows with a lethal spectrum of power.
Approaching the barriers with the proper colored crystals will lower them. Here I'm showing the last black security gate. There are 4 such switches that must be pulled to lower the final black security gate. These will also unlock the gates above, allowing the players in the yellow corridor to jump down. Use Leap of Faith to jump across. Turn slightly right before the end and catch the ledge. You have now unlocked the 4th and final black security gate. All you need now are 3 colored crystals to open the remaining 3 colored barriers. Your objective is now to get a blue crystal. If you happen to have a dimension door, or rather D-door, you may use it to return to the beginning of the dungeon, run down the purple corridor, and pick up a blue gem. Alternatively, you may return through the blue hallway and take damage. Here I backtrack a bit to show that it is impossible to get back through the red area since there is a barrier preventing you from getting out of the water in this direction. If you have a good amount of HP, let's say 1500 or more, you can walk it without any healing whatsoever. Any less than that will require some form of healing. Less HP will require better and faster healing. In a worst case scenario, you may use some silver flame healing potions or lesser silver flame healing potions to not take the speed debuff. To pick up the blue crystal, you must first drop the red one. You will go to the 3rd floor, cross the electric traps, enter the blue corridor, and take a right. After lowering the blue barrier, you will return the way you came. You only need now 1 green crystal and 1 yellow crystal. There is a total of 24 crystals, 6 green, 6 purple, 6 blue, 3 red, and 3 yellow. In a full party, all 24 crystals will be picked up, 2 by each player. There is a quest objective to pick up all crystals from all colors. While this is not essential for the quest conclusion, I am doing it anyways for the purpose of completion. After emptying the crystals from the blue and red sentinel, I am returning through the purple corridor. I empty the purple and green sentinel, leaving myself with only 1 green crystal. I recommend starting with the purple crystals first. If you start with the green, you might accidentally leave yourself with only 1, not be able to drop it since you need it to open the last gate, and no longer be able to throw away all the purple crystals. If you do happen to make this mistake, you still can run to the end, open the gate, and then run all the way back to empty out the remaining purple crystals. After passing through the green corridor, I take a left at the center platform and head towards the blue and yellow sentinel.
Another leering sentinel stands before you, this one adorned with crystals of yellow and blue.
Here again, I empty the sentinel, starting with blue and leaving myself with only 1 yellow crystal.
You gaze down another deadly security tunnel, this one suffused with a harsh yellow glow. This gallery looks down upon a freezing cold room. Perhaps the parts forged above are quenched and chilled here.
The 4 switches in this room, including the one underneath the water, activate the blue tile bridge. This bridge is used to gain access to the 4 switches who lower the 4th black security gate. In this case, I have already unlocked them using the Leap of Faith method. Lowering the final 2 barriers will gain you access to the second shrine. Similar to the starting area, this final corridor has passageways on both sides with ogres standing on the trap platforms. You can double back through the passageways to kill the monsters and gain a chest.
This grand chamber blazes with enchantment. Magical light illuminates a richly robed illithid on the central platform.
Edge yourself forward slowly, making sure that the next tile spawns and you don't fall off. The first time I ran Titan, I was with a group who had a special tradition for this end fight. All players would roll a dice. The player with the lowest roll would have to strip and fight the boss by himself. I of course rolled a 2, nearly had my brain sucked out before somebody came and saved me. So now I'm doing this for closure. Enjoy. While this ridiculous fight goes on, I would like to make a few shoutouts. Shout out to my home server Orion. Shout out to my best mate Yeshom and helping me prepare for this run. And special shout out to the Titan chat on the Orion server. This chat should be a guild by now. The falconry tree was added as a reward for 700 free agent favor. I was immediately compelled to gain access for my main character here, Warjack. Having such a hard time putting a group together, I found the motivation to try to do it myself. The Twilight Forge was soloed way back in 2008. The run did not include the underwater section. It was completely skipped. This resulted in the developers fixing the raid by adding the black barriers. The raid hasn't been soloed since. I hope this video doesn't encourage the developers to go fix this raid again. In my opinion, the way this raid is right now, it's perfect. Any raid should be completable solo, albeit with some serious effort.
A mortal blow strikes down Lord Istara. His last boss hidden inside your skull.
The end of this quest will bring you to the entrance of the second part of this raid, The Titan Awakes. Most importantly, do not forget to take your screen capture. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. It will help me out a lot. Thanks. And finally, thank God I am done with this video. P.S. For anyone considering soloing the Titan Awakens raid. First, you must break the bottom pillars using a melee weapon, aiming them away from you as the direction you want them to fall in. Secondly, you will bring a crystal and charge up the machine. Finally, you will shoot the top of the pillar with a ranged weapon and shoot the laser as soon as it breaks. Yeah, and good luck.